我是凯瑟琳. It's so cute! Ni hao nerdies, it's Kathleenums here, and I've been living in Taiwan for 2 months now, and I think I can safely say that I am really enjoying it. It's just been such a fantastic experience, and it's exactly what I needed in my life right now. I lived in South Korea for a year before this, and even though I really miss Seoul, I really miss the city life, my job was very stressful, and this is like night and day from that situation. It's so much more chill here, and I'm really enjoying myself and learning to relax again. So I wanted to talk about some of my favorite things about Taiwan, so that maybe my Taiwanese viewers can enjoy, and maybe those of you who have not been to Taiwan can learn a couple of things about the culture. So let's go ahead and get started. Number one is life here is very affordable and cheap compared to the States. I've found this is generally the case in most countries I've been to, other than Japan. Japan, life there is insanely expensive, but Korea and Taiwan and other Asian countries, life here is so much more affordable. There's great healthcare that is super cheap. I can just go into a pharmacy and get medicine and pay a couple of bucks, and that's all I need to do. I don't even need a prescription for some medications. Also, you don't need a prescription for contacts, which is so convenient. I can go out and I can get cosplay contacts and stuff and not have to pay $200 just to get an eye exam so that I can renew my prescription. So that's fantastic. Also, transportation here is really cheap. I mean, I take taxis to a lot of places, and I know I probably shouldn't because I could probably save money if I didn't do it, but sometimes I have to teach at schools because I teach for my day job, and sometimes I have to go across town in a trip that would take me 2 hours by bus because I don't have a scooter yet. So I just take a taxi, and it costs me like maybe $12, which does seem like a lot, but in America that same trip would probably be $40 to $50. So I'm really fond of that. Yeah, and the taxi drivers are much nicer here than they were in Korea. In Korea, like, taxi drivers are very particular on where they can take you, and sometimes they don't want to interact with foreigners because it's confusing. It really is, especially if you can't communicate. So taxi drivers are really nice here. Food is very affordable. I will at most, I mean, I cook most of the time now because a lot of Taiwanese food is like fried, and I don't want to just eat fried food. So I cook at home, and I might typically spend like $15 to $20 on groceries because food is so affordable here. Also, you can go out and you can get a meal. You can get some delicious beef noodles for like $2 to $5 depending on where you eat. So it's just great and affordable, and it's easy to be poor here if you're poor. So yeah. Number two is the bubble tea and dumplings. So I find myself much pickier about Taiwanese food than I thought I was going to be. Like, I always heard that, like, as soon as you get to Taiwan, you want to eat everything. But I hope that my Taiwanese viewers aren't too offended by this, but I'm actually kind of picky about Taiwanese food, and it's probably just because I haven't been exposed to anything like it before. Like, I never grew up eating like duck blood or stinky tofu. Although I've tried all those things, like, I'm very open-minded and I'll try anything once, but if I don't like it, I won't try it again. So yeah, there's like a lot of foods that I don't really specifically like, but the foods that I do like, I obsess over. And I have to say, like, Taiwan has the best dumplings I've ever had in my life. And they have these things called like soup dumplings where you bite into it and there's like soup broth in it. Oh my God. Like, I remember the first time I had a dumpling here, I was just like, okay, I'm set. Like, dieting is going to be really hard here, and I'm probably gonna gain 20 pounds because, yeah, dumplings. So that's why I'm trying to cook at home more, because It's hard to resist. Also, my favorite beverage here, and it's been one of my favorite beverages forever, is bubble tea. It is fantastic. It's really hard to describe if you've never had it. It's like milk tea, which I never liked tea with milk in it before, but I love it here. And there's these little tapioca balls that you like chew. You enjoy your smoothie and then you chew the tapioca balls. It's a really strange experience, and I probably will never have an experience like that with American food. One thing though is, in America, they make taro milk tea very differently than they make it here. In Taiwan, they literally just take the taro, which is like basically a potato. That's like, yeah, it basically tastes like a potato. They take like the potato and they just throw it into the shake, and I don't understand it at all. Like, I'm like, what? This is a weird taste. So, but whereas in America, taro has this like very artificial flavor and it tastes like cupcakes. Like, they add a lot of sugar to it. So I'm wondering where I could go to get that artificial taro flavor. And if you know where I can get that artificial taro flavor in Taiwan, let me know. I guess I like the Americanized version of taro better, but other than that, all the other things I like, I don't know how to say Zhenchu Nai Cha, I think. It's not Zen. I always see Zhenchu Nai Cha. Ugh. Anyways, bubble milk tea made with like black tea is really good, but also rose milk tea. I had rose milk tea the other day, and I'm salivating right now just thinking about it. I think I might go to the night market tonight just so I can get rose milk tea. Dude, I'm salivating right now. It is the most insane flavor. It is so good. Oh my God, I'm thinking about it and I'm getting so happy. Yeah, I could drink bubble tea every day, but I've become a little bit insomniatic. I've become an insomniac lately, so I have to cut down on my tea, sadly. Oh, bubble tea. I say as I'm actually drinking green tea right now that I got from Japan. This is not, you're gonna stay up all night, Kathleen. This is not good. Okay, I think I'm on number 3 now. Number 3 is, I think that Taiwanese people are the nicest people I've ever met in my life. You'll realize this when you go to Asian countries. People in Asia, like in Korea too, like people are very friendly and welcoming. And I think it's also because in Asia, like you have to save face. So like if you're really pissed off, you don't really show it like visually. So you probably go around thinking, oh wow, people are really nice. Like especially in Japan. In Japan, they're very good at like looking very friendly and bubbly all the time, especially when they're in service jobs. But sometimes that's an act. You gotta learn to kind of like read past that sometimes. But out of all of the cultures I've been, like I feel like Taiwanese people, I've met the most genuine and sincere kindness. No, I'm not saying that Japanese or Korean people aren't incredibly nice, but I'm saying that like I've had an easier time relating to Taiwanese people and making Taiwanese friends. Like I've already made more Taiwanese friends than I've ever made Japanese friends or Korean friends. Like, and I think it's just a cultural thing. Like I think it's easier to relate to Taiwanese culture than it is, or me personally, I find that I can relate more to people that grew up in Taiwan than in Korea or Japan, just because Korean and Japanese culture is so insanely different than America. It's not necessarily that it's bad, but it's just so different. And it's so important to please the people around you and please your family. There isn't that sense of like individuality that literally fuels American ideas. Like when I say that individuality is important, you don't realize that until you travel, how much of like individuality is like ingrained in you in American education. Like you're taught to rebel, and rebelling is seen as like this glorious thing to American culture. I mean, it's how we started as a country, by rebelling against the authority. So, you know, standing out and being different is something that's very prized in American culture, and it's not very prized in many Asian cultures. But But I find that Taiwanese people, not only are a lot of Taiwanese people kind of like fascinated with Western culture, and so like it's easy for you to kind of exchange, like make a Taiwanese friend, teach them about your culture, and they can teach you about their culture, so you get that like kind of cool exchange. But also, I think they just kind of relate. I kind of relate to them more in their culture because they're very laid back in terms of other like Asian cultures that I've experienced, and they're very like open-minded. This goes on to my next one, which is number 4. I think Taiwan is one of the most gay-friendly, if not the most gay-friendly place I have ever lived in my life. I feel more safe being a gay person here than I did in Florida, where I grew up. The place I grew up in Florida was like Central Florida, which is still basically the South. Very conservative town that I grew up in, and people aren't open-minded there. Like, I would still feel a little bit uncomfortable about holding a girl's hand in my hometown. I still would do it, but I know that like parents would probably like kind of pull their kids aside and make a scene about it. But like in Taiwan, I see gay couples, especially in Taipei, all the time holding hands, cuddling on the subway, and no one cares. And it's just, I feel so safe and so free, and that is because you know, the Taiwanese government has put safeguards into place. Like it's illegal for someone to discriminate against you in the workplace if you're gay. Like they can't fire you for being gay here. And gay marriage is probably going to be legalized very soon here. So it's just very easy. Like when you have those legal safeguards in place, that's one thing, but also just the mentality here. I think Taiwanese people, Taiwan is kind of like an America in a way, in that like they've earned their individuality kind of in the same way. Like they have their distance from Chinese and Japanese rule, and that kind of, I think, gives them a little bit of individuality. And it's just a beautiful place of acceptance and open-mindedness that I really respect from the culture that I grew up in. That's just something that I can relate to, and it also just is amazing to feel welcome and accepted. I mean, pretty sure like all of my coworkers know that I'm gay. I haven't really talked to my boss about it, but I'm pretty sure she knows it too, because she's friends with all of my coworkers and she's very friendly and whatever. So, and I haven't had one mean comment about it. I haven't had any hostility. Everyone has been so amazing. I just feel safe here, and I feel loved here. And I think America needs to take some notes. I think the South needs to take some notes. Like, y'all in the South, you need to treat people this way. Now, however, I have had some assholes. Like, no country is perfect. Oh, I have another one. Okay. Lastly, I really like shopping here because it is more affordable than Korea or Japan. Now, that kind of goes back into like the whole affordable thing, but you can get, now I'm pretty sure that this is definitely not official brand, and it's probably technically not copyrighted, but you can get merchandise from Pokemon, from all of the big animes, and you can get it for dirt cheap here. I actually have some anime stuff from Attack on Titan that I'm going to be sending some Patreon subscribers this month. I'm going to be like fast shipping it because it's a little bit late, sadly. I just figured out how to send packages here. But anyways, I can get stuff here. Like, I found Attack on Titan stuff. One Piece stuff is everywhere. Vocaloid is everywhere. See the Vocaloid poster in the background? Yeah, I'm a big fan of that too. It is very easy to get cheap nerdy stuff, and the action figures here from anime and video games are cheaper here than Japan. I should have just bought them all here because I can get way better deals. And the gaming culture, well, maybe I'll just group this all into one little thing. The gaming culture here, I'll say that's number 5. The gaming culture and the nerd culture here is much more accessible and cheap Then Korea. In Korea, everyone is really into like mobile games and online games, but here people are into every types of games, and I see game stores on every corner. Like, oh my god, it's a nerd's dream. I see, you know, PlayStation stores and Xbox stores, and that just did not exist in Korea. I had to go to Seoul a lot of the time to get games, and now like I could probably just, you know, I got Horizon Zero Dawn, I just walked to a game store and was like, hey, do you have it? Sometimes they're out of it because these game stores are small, but yeah, it's amazing. There's so much here for nerds, and it's much cheaper than Japan. Being a nerd in Japan is very exciting, but very expensive. You can also find like many of the gaming stores and PC bongs. I'm not sure what the Chinese word for it is. It's like PC bong in Korean. It's basically a PC room where you just play games. You just rent a computer and you just play online games, and it's awesome. So there is so much. I'm really excited now. I just got myself really excited. Well guys, that was my video. I hope that you enjoyed my ADD randomness, and if you did enjoy it, be sure to subscribe, like this video, share it with your friends that might like to see this random, crazy, silly dyke talk about Taiwan, and yeah, check out my social media below. I got that. I should go.
I just spent $800 in the Pokemon store, and I think that's pretty decent.